Hey, welcome back to Well Oiled Operations. So, inside of Well Oiled, we have now added, I believe we have 5 what we call sprints. These sprints are designed to get you quick cash injections or time saving tips, meaning our goal is to get you at least 10 hours a week per week back immediately, like literally immediately. You'll start to see these interviews, their results are within 30 days, and they start feeling results within 7 days. These are intended for quick wins, but also not for like overnight success and then it just falls away. These are systems that we put in long term as well. So we now have 5 of these sprints. You're going to be hearing today our second place winner in our reactivation sprint. Her name is Jodi Lovett. She is a stager from Ohio, and Jodi made $27,527 in the first 30 days. You're going to hear in a minute on the interview, she's like, I actually made way more money once we got into like the 90-day mark, because what she did in January, right? Some of it, she obviously made 27,000 in January, but she's like, you wouldn't believe how much came in February and March and April. Like what she did is now like trickling and the ripple effect is happening. So you guys, the big theme of Jodi's call is like, do the thing you know you should, but you keep putting off. Do the thing that's uncomfortable, that you don't really want to do. But man, if you do it, you're going to get results like Jodi. Okay. So enjoy her episode. It is an incredible story of just like grit, like going after it, doing what needs to be done. Like she is a true entrepreneur, and just so grateful to have her as our well-oiled community. Enjoy Jodi's episode. Jodi, welcome to Well-Oiled Operations. I'm so excited to get to chat with you today.
Thank you for having me, Stacy.
Yeah. So tell us, what is your business for everybody listening?
My business is Lovett by Design. It's a staging company. I've been in business for 20 years this month.
Amazing. And what state are you in?
Ohio. And
Ohio.
we also service Southeast Michigan.
Oh,
so
okay,
Northwest
great.
Ohio and Southeast Michigan.
Okay, amazing. So when we first launched the reactivation campaign, I'm curious, were you immediately going, oh my goodness, this is going to be for me, I'm leaving money on the table? Were you skeptical? Were you wondering if it was going to work? I'm curious what your thoughts were originally.
I guess I was a little bit skeptical. I'm a little bit nervous too.
Oh, okay.
I guess.
Nervous, why?
Because I knew I was leaving money on the table, but I wasn't sure how much. So I was a little bit skeptical of calling people and cold calling people.
Yeah.
That I haven't talked to a while. Not that
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
cold calling because you have a relationship with those people, but it's still stepping back into that arena to figure out what happened and how to reconnect.
Yeah. So how were those conversations for you? Like, what did you learn? What were some takeaways?
I learned that, a lot of it was just people decided that they wanted to try something new. And then sometimes that wasn't working out for them.
I know.
So,
It's
then
funny
they
how that
decided,
works.
yeah. So they decided, well, yeah, I decided to try something new, but it didn't work out. But I am willing to come back and talk to you again. And it's actually refueled the fire in a lot of relationships that I had for a lot of years. I think after you've had a business for a while, you kind of have ebbs and flows like that. People will come, people will go, but then they come back. So yeah, it was quite eye-opening to me to see the answers that I was getting. It was like, yeah.
Okay, so I love this. And I've interviewed the top 3 and you're my last one. And nobody has brought this up yet, which is so good that you're explaining one of the strategies of it. We're finding out, why did they leave? Why are they not here anymore? And what Jodi is saying is like, it was interesting. And what how many times do we leave somebody or go somewhere else and we either forget about them, we wonder like, can I go back to them? I left them. It's kind of like leading your hairstylist and she clearly knows you haven't gotten your hair done by her in a year. And then you're like, can I go back? Is she going to think that's weird that I left? Why am I telling her I left? But you open the door to say like, hey, we're here. Like, we'd love to have you back, which, like you said, prompts people to know, wow, okay, she's open to me coming back and working with her. That's so interesting.
So in my business, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Because my relationships are with realtors.
Yep.
So it's not really with, I don't do a lot of marketing that would reach the masses. I do marketing on Facebook, but the marketing I do there is more it's kind of phishing. So
Okay.
it's like putting my pictures out there. People know who I am. What really kind of came up from me calling these people that I wasn't expecting
Yeah.
was I actually got into 3 different offices to do presentations. So they were like,
Oh,
it was really good that I'm talking to you, but maybe it would be really good, since I already have a relationship with you, for you to meet the other people in the office. So because of this, I was able to get into the offices too. And I went into one office and I was quite shocked because the woman introduced me by saying, well, Jodi Lovett is here today. Is there anybody in the room that doesn't know Jodi? And nobody raised their hand.
wow.
So that made me feel really good.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing on Facebook might not bring me the immediate result, but
Mhm.
it is getting my name out there. People know who I am because they are following me on Facebook, even if they haven't used me yet.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal to see that firsthand.
Yeah.
So
Like
I've
you're well
gotten
known.
some. So now I think I'm in this kind of phase with these offices where one person is tipping their toe and testing me, and then they're going back and telling people what the results are from that. A couple of them are ones that I do a consultation, and then from that consultation, they have work that they need to do. And then after they're done with the work, then we get the house cleaned and staged. So we're in that process where I've done the consultation, they're getting the work done, they're seeing what I bring to the party, not just in staging the house, but in actually, taking some stress off of them.
Yeah.
And it's a whole new realization. So it's kind of reintroducing myself, but also having the opportunity to tell them all the things that I do, not just the one
Absolutely.
thing they thought that I do.
Right. Cause it's like, that's just perception, right? They're like, oh, wait, I think Jodi
Right.
does this. It's like Jodi gets to say who Jodi is and what she's known for and all of that. And that's huge.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. It was
So
really
good.
good. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Great.
the contest really helped me because I actually sat down and made a list of all the people that I haven't done business with, and that maybe I did business in the last 3 years, but
Mhm.
for whatever reason they were off the list.
Yeah.
So I actually, it was funny because I still have a long list.
Okay. That you still get to keep working through, you mean?
Right,
Yeah.
right. So,
Amazing.
but
Cause you
it's
already made like, hang on, you made $27,527
yes.
in that month. And you're like, I think I'll be getting at least 4 grand more per month to your revenue because of this. And you're like, my list is still, I still have a list. That's
Right.
incredible.
And I feel like I'm seeing more of that this month, I guess, because that was in January.
Yeah.
So 90 days for your marketing to start
Yeah.
working. So I actually felt like this month I'm actually starting to see the revenue build up from some of the things that I've done
And
through that in
that's what
January.
everybody has said so far. It's like, no, you get a kickstart, but really the momentum comes in a few months and it really starts to pile up. So that's amazing. Now,
Right. So I'm really excited about that.
what I love about this is we had one person really just lean into text, and that was how she did it. We had another person was like, oh, I didn't have their number, so I just did email. And you are like, I called, I texted, and I emailed, right? You
You
utilized
did all
all of
three.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. And I noticed that the email wasn't getting me as much.
Yes.
It
And
was either the text or the call that was because of the relationship that I had in the past.
yeah,
I think I needed that call. And then what I also did was I created for
yep,
each of the kinds of staging that I do, that I was offering to send to them too.
yep,
So that's something that I hadn't done before, and they can put it in their listing presentation. So whether it's a occupied or a vacant, or what I call hybrid staging,
yeah.
which is a combination of both, they can pull that out and put it in that packet.
Yeah, so good. So I will tell you, everybody has kind of said like email just hasn't been as effective, but Jen didn't have numbers, so she only did email, and email still worked, but it makes you wonder, what would she have done if she had the phone numbers? Like, what
Oh
would she have
yeah,
gotten, right? It is a big difference. Now, I do think, Jodi, it's really easy to have phone numbers and not dial. It's really easy to be
it
like,
is.
I don't want to have to, like, you're dreading the cold calling, right? But it takes I mean, you're in the top 3 because you did the things that most people don't want to do.
In the text, I actually said, is there a time we can talk on the phone?
Perfect.
So the text seemed to, even if they didn't answer the call, I say, I tried to call. but you didn't answer. So, is there a time that we could talk? So I really did find the most benefit from the conversation.
Yeah.
It's really kind of funny because I sold my own house
Okay.
in 22 because we built a new house. Well, it was just by happenstance that we picked the realtor that we did to sell our house because she was at our house at the time. We were trying to get it ready and we were scurrying around. I wanted it listed by June 10th, which was my birthday. I thought if we wait till Father's Day, it's going to be too late. So she actually said to my husband, hey, I'm here. Can I throw my hat in the ring? So she did a presentation. She came over and she talked to him and he gave it to her because she took the opportunity to go above and beyond. Well, a couple of those realtors that I had called hadn't used me because I didn't use them to sell my house.
Interesting.
Yeah. So they tried something different because they were upset. But it's like, it's really hard because when you do what I do, I have relationships with so many
Oh my
agents.
goodness.
It's hard how do you pick?
Right.
So
That's a really tough spot for
because
you.
it just happened, she was available. The other top two, that we had even thought of were on vacation that week. So it was like,
Yeah. Were you
and
able
she
to
was able to, she rolled up her sleeves and helped me get it ready. And
Yeah.
sometimes, as a stager, when you do your own house, it's a little different.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of funny. You do need that extra support from somebody else because staging your own house, you do have those lenses on that are a
Completely.
little different.
So, my question for you is, were you able to smooth out any of the people that were like kind of upset that you didn't use them? Like, were you able to rebuild any of
Yes.
those relationships?
Yes. So he's one of the top realtors in town, actually. And I had used him, forever. We actually used him as our last house. So it was like, well, give somebody else a turn, but
Right.
we didn't take it that way. So, but I said to him, and he said, the old me wouldn't have asked you this, but the new me is going to ask you, like, why didn't you use us to sell your house? And I said, well, it just happened. I said, it wasn't anything personal.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I was really kind of upset about that. And I said, well, I really apologize. I said, I really enjoy working with you. Is this going to affect our relationship going forward? And he said, I accept your apology. And he says, I really do need you. So, and he's given me since January, their team, probably 6 houses.
Wow.
Big.
Okay.
And I just had a conversation with him this morning and he's giving me another one and we're going to be doing some other things coming up. He said I have several more coming up. So I was able to smooth it over and make it right and move forward. So
And a lot harder to smooth it over in a text or in an email, right? Like these are conversations that need to be had on the phone. So kudos to you for like going for it, doing the hard thing. And I mean, just imagine like that one phone call to him alone, what it will produce the next year that maybe it wouldn't have because it would have been this awkward situation. And now you were able to learn from it, both grow from it and moving on. So it's just crazy what, you don't realize what's like hiding behind the scenes until you start digging and doing some of this work. So that's incredible. You were able to discover that.
Right. And some other people just says, well, I didn't think I needed a stager during the time period of COVID because houses were selling. And I explained to them, well, even though they were selling, the houses that we were staging were getting multiple offers over list and they were able to pick their buyer and get the absolute highest price. So now that things have changed a little bit, they're thinking, okay, well, it's time to start using a stager again. It's kind of funny with the staging industry. It kind of works in any market because that's what we do. And people perceive that they only need us when things aren't selling, but that's not necessarily true. And they always sell better when we stage them up front instead of them waiting till they don't sell and then coming back to us and say, well, it's not selling. Can you come and stage it?
Our job as the business owner to educate, right? You're educating and you're changing their minds. You're hearing the objections and you're like, actually, here's what really happened, right? But if you don't give them a chance to talk, you don't hear the objection and you can't educate. So all of this is kind of sparking now, hopefully even some marketing material of like, do you need a stager when houses are flying, you know, off the market so fast? In fact, here's what we've noticed. Here are the statistics. Here's what our clients have experienced. And that becomes amazing marketing as well.
I have all my own furniture and accessories and things like that. I have a huge warehouse, and some of the other stagers in town just don't have that kind of capacity to be able to handle their business.
Yeah,
Especially some of the bigger realtors that have a lot, you know, we can do. I generally have between 20 and 30 houses sell staged, and they sell, and then we flip them.
Okay.
Yeah, we try to flip them into a different house, or, you know, with supplementing what we need.
Yeah.
So we just have a lot more to offer. And I changed the way I did business over the last several years too. So I did buy all my own furniture. I had my accessories already, but people didn't realize, you know, what I had, and the team that I have behind me, and that we have logistics now in-house because of you.
Amazing.
And well-oiled. So yeah, we were able to get a contract with Penske. Actually, we started with U-Haul, but we found out Penske was able to give us a better deal. So we went with Penske, and it's been really good.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So what will this look like for you, knowing that this works and just like getting back? How will this become a system? You've got this list still, you're not even fully utilizing. What will you do moving forward to keep the momentum going?
I actually think it would be a good idea, like at the beginning of every quarter, to kickstart the quarter, so that by the end of the quarter, you've seen some of the results, and then you'll reap the benefits of those the next 90 days.
Yeah.
But start the process all over again with new people for the next 90 days. So that it would be something that we'll keep doing, and see the growth from that.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing, once you find something that works, right, you just want to hold on to it and do more of it and do it better. So finding your rhythm, right? Whether it's like, okay, we have capacity to do this once a year, twice a year, 4 times a year, once a month, right? You have to realize like this is a revenue generator. So how do we get, you know, this machine going, or how do we get somebody just, maybe it's not you making the phone calls eventually, maybe it's somebody else on the team, right? And we really start to get this to just be a well-oiled machine in the marketing spot, right?
The only problem with that is I think that because it is such a relationship business, I think that it is important for me to be the one to reach out, because they want that relationship has to be solidified first, and then they can meet the team.
Yeah. And I will say, like, it depends on who's listening. If you're the one dealing with that person specifically, it's going to be weird if somebody randomly calls. But if you start building up your team and there's other people they work with, then they can do it. So I agree with you 100%. If it's you, do it. But eventually, we also don't want that to have to be you either. We want to build that
don't
team.
want it to have to be me. You're right.
Yeah. No, but I love it. I do agree with you though, because anybody listening that has done this or is in the process, it'll be more bang for your buck when you do it in the beginning if you've been the direct contact. And it sounds like you have. So you probably got the biggest return response rate, right? Because of that specifically.
Because it's a personal relationship that you've developed and nurtured.
And clearly,
suddenly it goes away, and it's like, oh, well, where did it go?
I was gonna say clearly well worth though your time, because obviously you're busy. You own this amazing business. You have a million things to do, but this was, you know, definitely took some time, but it was high, you know, output. You got the results. So you can justify taking a minute to do this once a quarter if the returns are there.
Right. And January is usually our slowest month.
Yeah.
So this really, boom, you know, kickstarted us. And it's kind of funny because it happened right away too, because people that hadn't used me then automatically just wanted to, oh, I have a house for you to go look at. Oh, I have a house. Oh, I have a house. So it was, you know, one house after another.
This isn't a slow, like we literally call it a quick cash injection, because it really is. It happens very quickly. But we don't want people thinking it's a short-term system. You can definitely put it long-term and start to really see it. And like you just said, it's really building up. I mean, it's been now 4 months, so it's interesting to see what's happening.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. It really helped, and I am happy with everything with Well Oiled.
Amazing. Jodi, before we wrap up, what is one piece of advice you would give to a business owner listening right now, whether it's something to do with what we've been talking about, just in general of like, keep going? Like anything you want to share, I'd love to have advice from one business owner to another.
Don't be afraid to do the uncomfortable things, because the uncomfortable things are the things that will reap the highest reward.
Yeah. And
That's it.
you've proven it. Like you're a great example of doing it. And I love like we're kicking off, we're wrapping up where you've done like every part of the reactivation campaign. Like you tried it all, but then you got to really explain what you really saw get results and what maybe you didn't and what you're going to try next time. So I think just playing full out has really gotten you the results that you're getting for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with the results.
Amazing. So, Jodi, if somebody happens to be in Ohio or in the bottom part of Michigan, where can they find you? What's your business called? Where would they look you up? If they're a realtor looking
Lovett
to.
by Design, Lovitt is my last name, Jodi Lovett. Lovett by Design, and I'm located in Toledo, Ohio, but I do service Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan.
Jodi, congrats on your success. Thank you for coming on and sharing your story and just everything that you've put in, because somebody is going to hear this and go like, I got to do the uncomfortable today. I need to make that phone call I haven't been making. I need to go check on that relationship that faded for some reason. And because of you, they're going to be inspired to do that. So thanks for sharing your story here on Well Oiled.
Oh, thank you so much, Stacy. Appreciate you.